Morbius is the newest Sony Marvel movie. It stars Jared Leto as the title character, Dr. Michael Morbius. And I finally saw the film tonight. I know it's really only Saturday. This video will be posted on Sunday, but I was dreading going to this movie. I'll be completely honest. I feel like everybody at this point is just tired of seeing the trailer for this movie because we all have probably seen it a million times. I don't really think I have to go into the plot of the movie because we've all seen the trailer a million times, but this movie was getting absolutely trashed online. But I did actually go into it with an open mind. No matter what I posted on social media, I still went into it with an open mind. 15 minutes in, I was like, okay, maybe this won't be as bad as people said. I was wrong. Morbius is a film that at times shows potential, but in the end is just, it's terrible. This movie is so bad. I don't think it's like top 10 worst comic book films of all time, but it is pretty bad. It's not even like it's fine, it's whatever. No, it's pretty bad. There are scenes here that are not the worst thing ever, and honestly, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but Jared Leto is he's all right as Morbius. He's probably the best choice they could have gotten, but the character is written so badly here. But like acting wise, he's good, I guess. I don't really know. Maybe it's because basically every other performance here, for the most part, is pretty bad. Like even Matt Smith, which is funny because I know Matt Smith, but he was really good in Last Night in Soho. I really enjoyed him. But here, I think a lot of it is the writing. It was terrible. The writing is terrible. I know I'm kind of just cutting straight to it, but this movie really is awful. The only like somewhat good thing, actually, I'm not even going to say good things. Like the okay things are Jared Leto is as good as you could be for a character that is written this terribly, and there are some all right shots in the movie. I'm not talking about the CGI. I'll talk about that in a bit, but like just like the landscape shots, they're always going to be cool. And it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. And the fact that that's a positive says something about this movie. This one, I really did not think it would be this bad. I watched it with my girlfriend tonight, and I warned her going into it. I was like, hey, this movie is not going to be good, but I've got to watch it so that I understand all the connections with the other Spider-Man movies and stuff. And I'm not even going to get into all the Spider-Man stuff that, you know, if you've heard online, some of it's been removed, some of this, all this, I won't talk about any of that because it's a spoiler-free review and stuff, and that's just all I'm going to say for now. But this movie is directed so poorly. There really is no vision for what's supposed to happen here. The idea of him, like, accidentally transforming himself into, like, a vampire, and then, you know, that becomes a problem because of people around him, but the whole thing with other people who have the same disease, like, no, what is that? Is it a disease? I don't even know. Same issues, I'll say, as him. All that also tied into like a traditional vampire story. It's such a mess. And you try to add in all the Marvel superhero elements. I mean, there was one scene where, there's a few times where I actually did laugh, like by accident, like not to be like annoying, but where I like burst out laughing, but I did laugh pretty quietly. I'm not going to say what the scenes are, but there's one certain thing that Morbius does, and I don't know if it's comic accurate or not. I don't know anything about the character, but it made me laugh really, really hard. But I did, of course, hide my laughter because I am respectful in the theater. Somebody's going to the bathroom behind me. But my girlfriend said that this movie kind of just had the idea. Like, there were good ideas here. I think the kind of plot of a doctor going and turning into, like, a vampire and killing people. Somebody who's supposed to save lives ends up taking them. I think that line's in the trailer. I'm like, that's a good idea. Except the way it's presented here is awful. And the visual effects are really not that good. They're fine, okay? But it's just, like, it's not exactly the effects. It's what they chose to do for the effects, if that makes sense. I mean, the look of Morbius going around with all this stuff like coming off, and my girlfriend said it before I did, she's like, that looks so dumb. And it does. It looks so weird. And sometimes if he's wearing like, one time he's wearing like a coat that's like black and there's some purple in it, and you see like the purplest streaks, it looks terrible. And they delayed this movie so many times, but I just think, why didn't they just shelve it? Like, they really just shouldn't have released a movie. There's a reason why. I know they released it. I, of course, saw the post-credit scene. I might talk spoilers with this movie, but probably not. I might just on Patreon. I think I might do a spoiler live stream, maybe on YouTube, but maybe on Patreon. Depends on if I'm doing it by myself or with somebody else. Don't watch this movie, though. I know this review is, again, not straight up. It's kind of just more of a rant. I'm not going to say this, but I would like to title this like Morbius rant because it really is awful. I feel bad for those who had faith in it, and for those like I'm fully aware of everything Jared Leto does in person, how weird it is, his cult, his stuff on Suicide Squad and all that, but his movie was delayed like 17 times. It was delayed a million times, and it turned out to still be this bad, so I feel bad for those who were involved in it and who actually had good ideas. I don't really know why this movie was so bad. I just don't understand how somebody just didn't go, that's dumb. That doesn't make sense. Why is that there? That looks stupid. This is just super weird. Like, it's just so odd, and all the vampire stuff, it just doesn't work. It's like they ruined just the classic easy vampire story here. I've seen a few really great vampire movies. I think The Lost Boys is one of my favorite kind of 80s teen movies because it's a really solid teen movie. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's also just a great 80s film. Interview with a Vampire I did watch recently with my girlfriend, which is a little bit ironic, and that movie as a vampire movie is amazing. Like, it's not the best movie ever, but it's really good, and vampire-wise, it is done so well. But this movie just misses all of that. I really think that Morbius is a disaster of a movie. There are good ideas here, but none of them are presented well. Jared Leto is as good as you can be in this role, but everyone else kind of just gives the most boring and bland performance, but I don't blame them. I totally blame the writing here. The writing is why this movie failed, and because of the poor writing, you also had poor direction. Morbius is awful. Only see it if you feel like you have to, but do not spend $15 or whatever to go see this in like IMAX or something, because it's not special at all. I'm going to give Morbius a 1.5 out of 5. Honestly, this movie, I don't know, it might have been worse than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's actually, no, I don't think it's worse than that one, but it's really close. The fact that I'm even comparing those two says something. I mean, like the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre one, not the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whatever. If you've seen this film, please let me know what you think of it down below. Obviously, I think it's quite awful, and most people agree. Again, I went into it with an open mind, and within like the first 15 minutes, I was like, okay, this might not be that bad. But as soon as the action started, it was terrible. The action scenes are just awful. Once again, I think that's all I really have to say about the movie. It sucks. Don't watch it unless you feel like you have to. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.